Let's jump right into this explainer and look past the fables and movies to uncover the complex biological reality of Panthera leo. For millennia, we've crowned the lion as the undeniable king of the beasts. But today, we're stripping away all that folklore to get into the actual science, history, and ecology of this incredible hypercarnivore, an animal whose diet is almost exclusively meat.
So how did the most recognized animal symbol in human history become a vulnerable species? To really grasp the lion's true, fragile place in our world, we've got to start by forgetting the myth of the invincible king of the jungle. I mean, how does a creature that is so universally revered end up backed into a corner? Well, we're about to find out.
Part 1. The Cultural Icon. We'll start by examining the lion's ancient footprint, back when it was universally revered as the ultimate symbol of human power and kingship.
To ancient rulers, that symbolism was absolutely everything. Get this, Amenhotep III claimed to have killed 102 lions in 10 years with his own arrows. From Egyptian pharaohs to Roman emperors, hunting a lion wasn't just a sport, it was a carefully staged demonstration of absolute power. It was literally the ultimate royal tradition, a pure display of a king's dominance over nature itself.
Part 2. Built for the kill. Let's shift gears and deconstruct the biological engine that makes this animal such an apex predator.
There is this immense size dysmorphism, the physical differences between males and females. And their mass actually varies a ton depending on the exact region they inhabit. An adult male in southern Africa, he can weigh up to a massive 225 kilograms. That is nearly 500 pounds. Meanwhile, the Asiatic lions over in India are noticeably more compact. But across the board, the males are significantly larger and stockier, which is a physical trait deeply tied to how they defend their territories.
Now, the real secret to their hunting style lies in a massive biological trade-off. Skeletal muscles make up almost 59% of a lion's body weight, giving them absolutely unmatched explosive speed. But the catch? Their hearts are incredibly tiny. We're talking just about 0.5% of their overall body weight. To put that into perspective, a hyena's heart is almost 1%. This means a lion runs out of stamina very, very quickly. They're sprinters, right? Not marathon runners.
And when that short sprint ends, they rely on a staggering 1593.8 newtons of bite force. Since they just don't have the stamina for a prolonged, drawn-out struggle, they completely depend on that fast rush, a final leap, and then delivering a lethal, clamping bite to the throat or muzzle of their prey, and they'll hold it for up to 13 minutes if they have to.
But what about the male's most famous feature? Well, dispelling the old myth that manes evolved merely as armor to protect their necks in fights, modern science tells us a totally different story. They're actually high-stakes evolutionary billboards. A dark, thick mane signals high testosterone and top-tier reproductive fitness to females. But here's the crazy part. Having a dark mane in the African heat is essentially like wearing a heavy winter parka in the desert. It's a fascinating, exhausting, evolutionary balancing act.
Part 3. The Power of the Pride. Unlike most other big cats that are largely solitary, the lion has evolved a highly complex, group-living structure that's essential to their survival.
This is a fierce, female-led fission-fusion society. That just means the size and makeup of the group, which averages about 15 lions, frequently changes. The related lionesses form the permanent, stable core of the pride, and they even synchronize their reproductive cycles so they can raise cubs communally. The males, on the other hand, live a brutal, transient existence. Operating in coalitions, they patrol the fringes, defend against intruders, and often spend anywhere from 3.5 to over 7 grueling years as nomads, just waiting to fight for a temporary spot in a pride.
And this social structure directly fuels their group hunting tactics. Remember that tiny heart we talked about? Group coordination is exactly how they compensate for it. Lionesses take highly specific positions. Some take the wings to flush out the prey, while others move in the center. Using the cover of night and dense brush, they erupt into a short burst of acceleration, reaching top speeds up to 74.1 kilometers per hour before making that final leap to pull the prey down by the rump and delivering that clamping bite.
Part 4. Rivals of the Savanna. The daily grind of survival means the lion is constantly at war with other predators sharing its ecosystem.
It turns out lions and spotted hyenas have a massive dietary overlap of almost 59%. They occupy incredibly similar ecological niches. They want the exact same food, the same carrion, the same territory, and this forces them into a fierce rivalry where they'll frequently attack and kill each other, sometimes even when there's absolutely no food involved at all.
What's absolutely fascinating is how the balance of power between these two top predators can completely flip depending on the geography. Down in Tanzania's Ngorongoro crater, lions act like the ultimate bullies, subsisting largely on food they outright steal from hyenas. But jump over to Botswana's Chobe National Park, and the situation violently reverses. There, hyenas are the ones stealing an astonishing 63% of all lion kills. It's a perpetual, localized turf war.
Part 5. A shrinking kingdom. We've seen their incredible power, but now we have to confront their extreme vulnerability.
Looking back at a lineage stretching over 10.8 million years, the lion was once a truly global species. 2 million years ago, we see the earliest fossils at Olduvai Gorge. They roamed across Europe, Siberia, and even the Americas. The mighty cave lion dominated for thousands of years before going extinct around 11,900 years ago. But as climates shifted and early humans relentlessly expanded, the lion's massive footprint started shrinking back.
Today, taxonomists recognize just 2 distinct subspecies, one covering West, Central Africa and Asia, and the other across East and Southern Africa. But rather than a continuous, flowing population across a continent, they have been completely shattered into isolated fragments, cut off from one another.
The result of this fragmentation is pretty devastating. We're talking about a 43% drop in African lion populations just since the early 1990s. This isn't ancient history. This is happening right now in our lifetimes. The primary culprits aren't other predators or disease. It's human expansion causing massive habitat loss and direct, fatal conflicts with local populations and their livestock.
The regional breakdowns highlight a grim reality. The king of beasts has been entirely backed into a corner. In West Africa, there are only about 400 individuals left. They're critically endangered. Entire national parks in the Republic of Congo, like Azala Kokowa, that were once strongholds, now have 0 lions. They're locally extinct. Over in Asia, they survive in just one single isolated 1,412 square kilometer pocket in India. Wild lion populations are now officially untenable outside of designated, intensively managed protected areas.
So, as their kingdom shrinks to these isolated, protected zones, can the ultimate symbol of power actually survive the age of humans? What does it really say about our modern world and our stewardship of this planet if we cannot make room for the very animal we chose to represent our own strength? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the world around you.